Marc Marquez, the world champion who has proven himself to be one of the greatest riders on the MotoGP track, is now facing a serious warning from the LCR Honda team boss. Despite his exceptional reputation and undeniable racing ability, there are concerns that his presence could pose a great risk to the team and the overall dynamics of the race. What exactly made the LCR Honda boss warn that Marc Marquez could be a disaster, even though he is a great rider? Let's discuss it. Behind Marc Marquez's dominance, Ducati course general manager Gigi Delaney expressed his admiration for the other side of the 8-time world champion. According to Delaney, Marc is not only fast on track but also very sharp when it comes to technical input. Marc is very thorough when giving technical instructions. He can use all the potential of the bike, not just racing, said Delaney with a tone of admiration. Delaney, who is known to be rational and even cold in his decisions, thinks that this is no ordinary praise. Marc knows his limits, even if he had 2 accidents this season. It was not a technical mistake, but rather he lost his concentration for a moment. I have full confidence in him, said Delaney. Delaney also stressed the fairness of the team. Although the public compares Marc and Bunaya, Delaney makes sure that no rider gets preferential treatment. I'm not going to make decisions that hurt other riders, he said. Delaney admits that Bunaya is a unique and sensitive rider who reads motorcycles like poetry, but Marc's obsessive character towards perfection makes them have strong similarities in work ethic. The combination of my brain and Marc's courage is the perfect match to lead Ducati into a new era of glory, concludes Delaney. Amidst the euphoria and enthusiastic admiration for the extraordinary performance of baby alien Marc Marquez, Lucio Cesanello, the boss of the LCR Honda team, actually issued a stern warning to the manufacturer's rivals, especially Ducati. According to the Italian, being too impressed and then relying too much on a rider as great as Marc Marquez could turn into a big boomerang that has the potential to destroy the team's future. Personally, I admire Marc a lot. He is indeed one of the greatest riders we have ever seen in the history of motorcycle racing, said Cesanello with full confidence in an exclusive interview. However, if we look back at history, the sole dominance of one rider in a factory team is not always a positive thing. Often it ends in big problems, especially when the whole focus and development of the bike is adjusted to the racing style of one rider. Cesanello also recalled the bitter experience Honda went through a few years ago when Marc Marquez was the mainstay of the team. The entire development of the RC213V bike was designed to suit Marquez's character and aggressive racing style. However, when Marc suffered a long injury that kept him out of many races, Honda seemed to have lost its way. We were too confident that Marc would always be able to cover the weaknesses of the bike with his extraordinary abilities. But when he couldn't race, the replacement rider had great difficulty competing, and as a result we fell behind Ducati, KTM and even Aprilia, he recalls in a serious tone. Now Cesanello sees similar signs emerging at Ducati. Although Marc Marquez has been phenomenal with the Desmosedici GP25 and has put in impressive performances, his teammate Francesco Bunaya, a 2-time world champion, has struggled to find a consistent racing rhythm. In recent rounds Bunaya has finished off the podium or in 3rd place at best, and on several occasions has been beaten by the old Ducati riders who are no longer the mainstay of the team. Ducati have to be very careful, Cesanello continued, stressing. Marc's dominance is very impressive and exciting for them, but don't let it make them ignore the needs and development of other riders, including Piro, he said, using Francesco Bunya's nickname. Don't let them repeat the mistakes we made at Honda. If all the team's development and strategy is focused on just one rider, and then something unwanted happens to that rider, the team's big project and ambition could collapse and fall apart. Cesanello's warning is an important reminder to all the factory teams in MotoGP that long-term success is not only determined by one great figure, but also by the ability to build a solid team and a competitive bike for all the riders. Amidst the rampant speculation and rumors circulating in the MotoGP world, many believe that Ducati have deliberately designed the Desmosedici GP25 to follow Marc Marquez's racing style in order to support the world champion's dominance. However, Ducati's main test rider, Piro, has strongly denied the suggestion. Piro stressed that the bike currently used by the factory and satellite teams is the result of years of hard work by Ducati's technical and engineering teams. This bike is the product of a long evolution, with no significant differences between the bikes used by the factory and satellite teams. Marc Marquez's greatness does not come from a specially made bike, but from his adaptability, his instincts and his extraordinary talent, said Piro confidently. Piro also commented on the mental pressure currently being felt by Pecco Bunaya, who is competing closely with Marquez. Pecco is a very talented rider with great potential, but like any other rider he has had ups and downs in his career. We cannot directly compare him to Marc, who comes with experience and a mature world championship mentality, he added. Piro believes that Marc is no longer a rider who tries to impose his own individual style of racing, but has learned to adapt to the system and philosophy of the Ducati team. This process of adaptation has made Marquez more mature, more efficient on the bike, and able to give his best in every race. It is a combination of experience, teamwork, and racing maturity that makes Marc so special today, concluded Michel Piro. MotoGP is entering a new chapter full of drama and hot speculation. The rumors about Pedro Acosta, the young phenomenon who is shining at Red Bull KTM, soon to join Ducati's satellite team, the VR46 racing team of the legend Valentino Rossi, are getting stronger and stronger and are becoming a hot topic of conversation in the paddock and among racing fans. Known for his exceptional talent and aggressive yet intelligent racing style, Acosta has been tipped to play a key role in challenging the dominance of Marc Marquez. His goal is serious: to prevent the baby alien, Marquez's nickname, from winning a 10th world title, which would equal Rossi's phenomenal record. A great ambition that places Acosta as a central figure in the future rivalry of MotoGP. If this rumor is true, the 2026 MotoGP season will be a much-anticipated generational war. On one side is Marc Marquez, the comeback king who never loses his thirst for a championship. On the other side is Pedro Acosta, the pretender to the Ducati throne, ready to challenge all dominance and write his own history. Ducati also faces the challenge of managing two talented young stars within the same team structure, a major test for the team's stability and harmony. With all these dynamics, MotoGP is ready to present a spectacular battle that will shake up the world of premier-class motorcycle racing. The race at the Le Mans circuit during the French GP took place in very challenging and chaotic conditions, especially due to the sudden change in the weather. This caused many accidents and incidents on the track, which ultimately made the race unstable and difficult to predict. These conditions left the Ducati team and all its supporters with a deep sense of disappointment. Gigi Dall'Igna, Ducati's technical director, could not hold back his frustration and expressed it in a statement on social media. This was a very chaotic race and difficult to enjoy as a competition. To be honest, I think it is better to watch this race without a lot of technical commentary, because the situation is really not ideal, said a disappointed Dall'Igna. Although the final result was not in Ducati's favor and they failed to win, there is one positive to take away from this French GP, and that is the mature performance of Marc Marquez. The rider was able to read the situation very well, choosing to play it safe in the midst of difficult track conditions, but still able to remain competitive until the finish line. Marc really deserved the valuable points from this race. He managed the situation very well and showed the mentality of a true world champion, who knows when to be aggressive and when to be cautious, added Dall'Igna, acknowledging Marc's strategic qualities and composure amidst the chaos of the race. Will Marquez win the title again? Write your opinion below.